Welcome back. Polls close in just over 2 hours in New Jersey's gubernatorial election. Incumbent Democratic Governor Phil Murphy is facing former Republican Assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli.
For the latest polling in New Jersey's gubernatorial race, let's bring in Daniel Cassino. He's a professor of government and politics at Fairleigh Dickinson University. Professor, welcome. Thanks very much for being with us. So with such an advantage in registered voters, why have Democratic governors historically struggled to get reelected in New Jersey?
Well, there's a big advantage in registered voters right now, and that wasn't always the case. Even not too long ago, New Jersey was something of a swing state, at least when it came to state level, if not federal level elections. What we've seen happening over the past, especially 10 years, is there's been a real outflow of older white voters, basically to Florida, and a real inflow of immigrants from all over the world. And in recent years, a lot of refugees from Brooklyn and New York, getting away from the high rents and high cost of living in New York City, coming to the suburbs of New Jersey. And that really has made the state much more democratic than it was even 10 or 15 years ago.
So in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin has tapped into that outsider mystique, and that's worked for him, at least it appears to have worked in Virginia. But Jack Ciattarelli is formerly from the Assembly. Is he an outsider? How is he imagined, or how has he tried to package himself or campaign for himself, and has that imagery or message caught hold?
He's had some problems. South Jersey, especially around the Atlantic coast, is very, very Republican and very pro-Trump. The problem is Republicans in the rest of the state, especially in the northwestern counties of New Jersey, are very much not Trump Republicans. They're what we used to call Rockefeller Republicans or Country Club Republicans who didn't like Donald Trump very much. And so for Jack Ciattarelli, it's been a real struggle. How do you keep those voters in South Jersey while still holding on to the voters in North Jersey? And he has not really been able to thread that needle. He's also been hurt by the fact that he's been underfunded this entire race. And New Jersey is the most expensive place in the country to run a campaign. You have to buy ads in both Philadelphia and New York City. So he's been in a bit of trouble. He also has not been able to win over many of the county level bosses that were critical to Republican governors winning in the past.
So you mentioned the differences between the Republicans in the southern part of the state and Republicans in the sort of northwest part of the state, as well as the underfunding issue. But 46% of voters say that Jack Ciattarelli would be better for New Jersey tax policy. So since high taxes are so important to New Jersey voters, do you think those factors that you just spelled out a moment ago are the reasons why it might not be enough for him to win?
Exactly. Look, Ciattarelli talks a lot about taxes, but every single candidate in New Jersey talks a lot about taxes. We are one of the most highest tax states in the country. The problem is that we're a high tax, high services state, which means people are paying a lot of taxes, but they're getting way more services, especially in terms of educational spending, than they're getting in other states. So when you talk about cutting taxes, you also have to talk about where you're going to cut spending. And everyone talks about cutting spending, but no one actually has a good plan about what they would do to actually cut that spending that's not going to upset a lot of people in New Jersey. And at the heart of it, that's the problem. You can talk about taxes, and the taxes are too high, and they certainly are. But you can't cut anything without having a lot of people screaming that you're cutting services that they like.
Daniel, this is the first year New Jersey has had early voting. In 9 days, some 200,000 people took advantage of that early voting window, roughly 3% of the registered voters. And as of this past Sunday, the state received, we are told, 495,000 votes by mail. As a number of states move to limit voting or how you access voting, why did New Jersey opt to expand it in this way, and how's it worked out so far?
Well, New Jersey actually moved very much to a vote-by-mail system during the pandemic last year. And so we actually had to put all sorts of new processes in place and buy new equipment in order to make that work. So there's no reason not to keep on using that, given that we'd already made that investment. This is also very much a symbolic act on the part of the governor, Phil Murphy, who is a very progressive Democrat, essentially arguing that we are not going to do what Republican states have done. We're going to go and actually expand voting. We're going to have automatic voter registration when you go to the DMV. We're going to have vote by mail. We're going to have early voting. We should note both campaigns made extensive use of that early voting, having rallies, then being able to immediately take the people at those rallies, march them right over to a polling place and get them to vote right then and there.
That's worth noting that both campaigns embraced early voting. That is something that I think we may see trend across the country, even though there are some lingering doubts expressed about early voting itself. Daniel Cassino, thank you so very much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.